Adriana de Souza versus Yago Dora.
My dad has been coaching him for the last 2 years. We surf a lot together and we talk a lot about competition together. It's gonna be a tough heat.
Everyone got a lot of expectation about me, you know, like, yeah, this is the 2015 World Champion heading to the water, so I need to do well.
Welcome to the 2017 Oi Rio Pro presented by Corona. We are now down to just 4 surfers. Semi-final number 1 out in the water. An all-Brazilian affair with Adriana de Souza versus the young upstart Yago Dora. Kaipo girl along with 89 world champ to bring you the action here in semi-final number 1 as we take a look out in the ocean. And the heat has started. Well, while we look forward to the opening exchange, let's check in with Strider. He's with the last heat winner, Matt Wilkinson.
I sure am, Matt Wilkinson, taking a quick water break there. Probably a lot going on in the water out there in that heat.
Yeah, it was kind of a little rematch from the Gold Coast. I'm over here, I was staying with Owen, where our beds are about a finger length apart, so we've been rolling over and fucking poking each other. Whoops. Yeah, but to have that heat, and he started off really nice, and then so I was a little worried, but came back with that 8 and then straight back into another really solid wave, so I'm stoked.
It looks like you're on a great flow, even through the end of your rides, really projecting out of turns with speed. Is that the equipment?
Yeah, that board feels really solid. It's at the start, the first couple of surfs I had on it, I felt like I was going a little slower, but it felt really solid, and those last couple of waves I was pushing as hard as I could, and it'd just spring back and shoot me out. So I'm really psyched on that board, and yeah, hopefully I can get 4 more really good waves on it.
Into the semifinals this year, it's just kind of rolling along. You seem to have a great momentum at the moment. Yeah, I had a great start and then a few kind of slow ones, but I felt like I was surfing really good in all of the events so far. And this one I started off probably feeling as bad as I had all year, but coming into the important end of this comp, I'm starting to feel really good. So hopefully I can just keep improving. Last year you were in the run for quite some time. What did you learn from that, and were you putting that into this year?
Yeah, last year I had kind of a breakaway start and then just slowly let everyone creep up on me, and I felt like I had a few pretty unlucky moments last year and a few events where I felt like I had a good chance, and like J-Bay was half a foot in my heat, and I don't know, a few things just didn't go my way, and it was a bit frustrating, but I definitely learnt that I can be up there, and I felt like events that I should do well in, I kind of didn't last year, and I still ended up in the top 5. So if I can kind of put the performances in everywhere that I should, then I feel like I can see myself up the top.
Well, proof's in the pudding. You're in the semis. Congrats.
Cheers.
There you go. And we saw a wave getting surfed during that interview. But the big news, well, one of the many stories actually, Potts, is that there's not going to be a wardrobe change going into stop number 5, the outer known Fiji Pro. John Florence will keep that Jeep leader's jersey on his back, but the title race in 2017 will certainly become a lot tighter.
100%. You know, obviously with John going out early, these guys are catching him up, but have a look at this wave from Adriana de Souza. A great way to start here. He's got to turn the screws on this young kid. He's been taking world champions down. John Florence, Gabriel Medina, Mick Fanning, and Adriana de Souza, one of those world champions that will not want to get upset by Yago Dora. Starts off with a 7.17, so a good start for him.
Let's just look at Yago Dora's road to the semi-final. Didn't win his first round 1. He was relegated to round number 2, where he beat Kolohe and Dino. Then round number 3 was the first world champ that Iago took down in a defeat of John Florence. Then Iago beat Gabriel Medina, Mick Fanning in that order, and here we go on the replay right off the ski.
Oh, Adriano de Souza, does he come out of it? He does, but without the board. So straight off the jet ski into a little nugget, looking for the tube ride. And if he had to come out of that, we would have seen a pretty good score. Judges have been loving the barrel out here, so just a 1.70. And that won't be in his top two by the end of this heat.
De Souza staying busy very early in this heat. Opened up with that 717, but jumped right off the ski, right into another wave. Playing the patient game, getting coached out there probably by his dad, Leandro, which is another really interesting story. Iago's dad, Leandro, coached Adriano de Souza to his 2015 world title. And for more on that story, we're going to check in with Carlos Burle. Carlos.
Hi, Paul. Guys, I went to talk to Iago's daughter's father, and he's also his coach and Adriano de Souza coach. And what a day in the office for this guy. You know, it's a win and win situation. He told me that he's going to be neutral. You know, he's not sharing for none of them. It's hard to believe, but he said that they had heats today already. They know the tactic, the strategy for the day, so they're just gonna do a heat for themselves.
Well, that sounds like fair play. A lot of insight there. Again, Leandro Doro, Iago's dad, an exceptional surf coach, and the proof's in the pudding right there. One world title, and his young son coming in this event, the trials winner, the wild card, all the way to a guaranteed third place showing.
Yeah, fantastic result. I think the last time a wild card won a men's CT event was Bruno Santos in 2008 in Tahiti.
It's been a long time.
So it's been a long time since we've seen that. But Iago Doro definitely got the goods. I mean, he's been on an absolute roll. Just a little bit of a quiet start, so needs to get that ball rolling. 21 minutes remaining. And just one good wave ridden, and that's from Adriano de Souza. But yeah, interesting there where Dad is going to step aside and let these guys do battle together.
Well, look, right now we're about
12:50
local time here in Sakurema. Low tide being 109. So I think we're seeing some of these lulls as the tide is basically bottoming out on the backside of this tide. As the water starts to fill back in, we should see more wave action. So with that being said, wave choice is going to be very important in this semifinal number one because it's slimmer pickings than we saw earlier this morning.
100%. I mean, it's definitely not as many waves coming through. That swell looks like it is dropping off just that little bit. And then you've got to take in consideration that Owen Wright and Matty Wilco's heat absolutely fired. There was plenty of good waves in that heat. So you're going to have these ebbs and flows, and this has started off to be a quiet heat. So Iago Doro sitting at the back, he's got priority, just with a 2-point ride under his score in his scoreline. So needs to really capitalize on this next exchange. So with that being said, there's not a lot of waves coming through. So when you do get one, you've got to make sure you don't fall off or make any kind of mistake.
Well, as we wait for the next wave to be ridden, let's ask the question and find out the answer. Where's Waz?
Waz is down on the beach. You got a couple people down here excited about what's happening. And you know what? Why not? Iago's in the water, De Souza's in the water, and everybody's loving it. But let me tell you, these guys love the action down here. They haven't even caught a wave yet, and they're just going off. So, you know what? You can feel it down here. The energy's good. A little overcast still, but that doesn't matter. Everybody's still on fire.
All right. Thanks, Strider. And you can catch him on Instagram at Strider's World. He would love if you follow him.
Strider's got a lot of followers.
And look, we got a lot of followers right here.
Exactly, right? Probably half the beach is following Strider's World.
Well, everyone's following the action in the water right now and anticipating, you know, a real wave for Iago Doro to answer back to Adriano de Souza's 717. The requirement right now for the Goofy Foot Brazilian in the blue jersey, a 6.88 and that's because he only has a 2-point ride in his scoreline.
Absolutely. Which is, I reckon a no-brainer. Obviously, this kid is super talented. We've seen some great heats from him so far today. And I think what he's got to do is bring that point of difference. I think it's going to be hard for him to match the rail work from De Souza. So I think the air game is going to become a lot more important for Yago.
Potts, as we were setting up for the semifinal number 1, I noticed a little bit more onshore wind, but that actually has backed off. I was going to make the comment with the wind coming in, it may have been an advantage for Yago Dora, who's already shown an exceptional air game, but quite smooth ocean surfaces right now. We can take a look. Maybe a slight onshore breeze, so hopefully we're going to see some more of those aerial antics from Yago Dora.
Absolutely. In this day and age, so these guys are so good, it doesn't matter which way the wind blows. They have that ability to react and punt against it no matter what. I think with the offshore wind blowing, traditionally is harder to do the aerial maneuver, but they kind of launch their board out and at the beach and get that rotation going. So these guys are good. They know exactly how to do that.
We need to look no further back for that example to stop number 3 at Bells, where the current Yellow Jeep leader jersey owner, John Florence, did the alley-oop that shook the world. 8 feet out, Potts, we were calling it. It was absolutely incredible, and an example of these surfers being able to do airs in any wind condition.
Pretty much any wind condition. And there was places like Cloudbreak and Chopu that we were thinking, hey, maybe these waves are the ones you can't do airs. And we're seeing Medina and all these guys starting to bust airs at the end of the wave in Fiji over super shallow reef, and even Tahiti. So gone are the days of certain spots not allowing those aerial maneuvers. These guys are manufacturing them.
Here we go. Dora up and riding, building up some speed down the line. Hacks a turn. Looked like he was getting ready to spring, and rampless for Yago Dora.
That wave just not cooperating. A little bit of a wobble in it. It sort of almost breathed somewhat. Nice opening maneuver though for Yago. Back to the drawing board though. That's not going to be enough. Looking for a 6.88. Time is ticking away. Let's have a look at this one right here. Using his priority. So we're talking about those opportunities. There's not going to be a lot of them. Beautiful turn right there. And there you can see him just almost looking for it, but just mistimed that and had to pull through the back. So opportunity gone begging. And Yago is going to have 2 small scores in his scoreline. Still that 7.17 from De Souza, the best wave of the heat.
Well, we've been talking about Yago eating up world champs so far in this year's Oi Rio Pro, but it may not be the case with Adriano De Souza, because De Souza, 9.83, 18.5. He does the highest heat total so far, and we're going to be back with more of the Oi Rio Pro presented by Corona. Stick around. Semifinal number 1 is in the water. Welcome back to the Oi Rio Pro presented by Corona. We're in semifinal number 1. Never miss any of the action on the World Surf League. Download the WSL app to your mobile device. You can also message us on Facebook to get live event alerts. So many ways for you to catch all of the action for the 2017 Championship Tour. Kai Paguro along with Martin Potter for the call.
Yeah, Kai, what an amazing, just the ability to be able to watch this event no matter what. It's come along really fast. Obviously a free out there, the WSL app. So
something big happened during the break. Check this out.
Well, Adriano De Souza, what's he got for us? Beautiful foam climb right there. The crowd lit up as he comes off the bottom. There's that bottom turn, top turn combo. Is just absolutely on fire. De Souza, what a turn to finish off. Smooth, clean, radical. Put his board in a lot of different positions. I love this maneuver right there. That's what feels so good. And then grabs that rail, bottom turn, unleashes a big turn, and then just capitalizes with that upside down hook under the lip, comes riding out and drops another excellent score, Kuiper. Have a look at that.
9.57 for Adriano De Souza. Now he owns the highest single wave score and the fourth highest single wave score when we look at this entire competition. We're talking about the numbers, and De Souza seems like he's got the math worked out right now.
Yeah, well, the numbers don't lie. I mean, you're dropping scores like that, you're going to be up there no matter what. So at the moment, De Souza with a 7.17, that's the weak link at the moment. But in saying that, Yago Dora in a combo situation. So Yago needs 2 waves that are going to bring him in a 16.75 2-wave total. Here he goes now.
Here we go, Yago. He's got his back up against the wall. Needs a couple of scores. Starts off with a little down carve and a nice cutback. Nurses another one. Nothing super exciting quite yet. Builds up some speed on the inside. Launches and board gets away from him. Still going to be looking for those scores.
Yep, that's not going to do it for Yago. Needs to get back to the drawing board. We talked about that 16.75. So anything over that 6.75 will get him out of that combo situation. But to compete against Adriano De Souza at the moment, you need waves up into that 9-point range. I mean, he is just absolutely nailing it. Let's have a look at Yago's wave. Trying to get himself back into the heat. I like that smooth sort of opening turn, and again, nice hook in the pocket, getting that board all the way back around. And again, waiting for this inside. Now he sets it up. Now he sees it. Now he reacts, bing, and just flies through the air, loses the grab, and that board just got away from him. So unfortunate there for Yago. That was going to be a good score. Look at it anyway, a 3.6. You finish the air, you add another, I reckon, 5 points onto that maybe, and we would be looking at a score up into the 8-point range.
We would look at a much tighter heat right now, but it's all De Souza out in the water. He's got the red jersey. He has first priority. He has what we often see time with Adriano, heat control. Just orchestrates such good heats. 30-minute chunks. This man's able to put it together. That's why he's a world champ.
Absolutely, time and time again. Varying different spots as well. I mean, it's not just here that he's structuring good heats. He does it all over the world in some of the craziest waves on the planet. He is good on his backhand. He's good on his front side. He's got a backside bottom turn, top turn combo as good as anyone at the moment. And he's carrying a lot of confidence, our 2015 world champion. And he's coming out of the Australian leg in the top 5. This result is going to keep him there and even close that gap even further towards that yellow Jeep Leaders jersey. And we're going to have a crazy world title race on our hands.
We've got a great 2017 here at the World Surf League, and we're here at stop number 4. And this is just a packed house now here.
Well, the crowd know if they're going to have at least one Brazilian in the final, so Cinderella story for them. They get to cheer their guys on all the way through. Who's going to be in the final? It's going to come down to Matty Wilco and Ace Buchan in that semi-final number 2. 2 goofy footers.
Well, one thing we guarantee, Potts, it's going to be an Australian versus Brazilian final. Just looking at the semi-finals, don't have to be a rocket science to figure that one out. But it's going to be a battle of 2 great surfing nations. When you think about it, on the championship tour, both nations have the most surfers on the World Championship Tour.
Yeah, I think it's 11 from Brazil and 12 from Australia. So it's pretty much the most 2 dominating regions in the world of surfing. So
what an appropriate final.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think we're going to see a lot more of this too, though. I think the Brazilians are stepping up. There's more and more talent coming through. We've got the likes of Yago Dora, who's banging on the door for next year. It's I tell you what, Brazil are bringing some insane surfers to the table.
We see the pre-Oi Rio Pro ratings running through the bottom of your screen. Number 4, Adriano De Souza, going to put himself in a really, really good position. Another chance for Yago Dora. Eases through that first turn. Just some setup work here. Just S turning through here. He's going to have to do something super exciting to get the score. And looking a bit out of sorts on this particular wave. Finishes it. It gets exploded by the backwash. But just to get out of combo, he needs a minimum of a 6.75.
Yeah, he needs excellent scores. 16.75. You're looking at two 8.5s. Is what it's going to take. Obviously, De Souza with a 9.57 and a 7.17. And you see Matty Wilco making his way down for the final. Crowd are appreciating what he's been doing. I think that last heat against Owen Wright was his best performance so far in this event. So, in saying that, he's getting better and better.
That's what you want to do.
Saving his best for last, and that's exactly what you want to do.
Well, Matt Wilkinson showing us that his 2016 campaign on the championship tour, where he finished 5th, he had 2 wins and a runner-up finish in 2016, was no fluke. He's already made a final. He's now into the semifinals. Let's see if he can make yet another final and perhaps his first win. That all comes by in semifinal number 2. Let's take another look at Yago Dora.
Yeah, this was one of those little waves that really didn't cooperate. You can see he was almost lost interest now. He sees something, kind of reacting, waiting for this wave to stand up. Almost was going to do an air there. Kind of got stuck right there. So this wave just really did not want to be surfed. Nice little ending maneuver, and then just gets evaporated by the backwash. So yeah, that's not going to do it for Yago. Just a 3.97. So back to the drawing board, still looking for 16.75, and we're just inside the 7-minute mark. So to get yourself out of that combo situation, we're looking around about 5 minutes or so maybe, depending on how quick the sets come through, but he needs something in the 8-point range, kind of like now.
Let's take a look at the heat recap. Run us through this, Potts.
Well, it's kind of all been Adriano de Souza. You started off with a good score of a 7.17 with his clean, beautiful backhand surfing. I think he's got one of the best backhand approaches on tour at the moment, and this is why. Just a nice stock standard 7.17 to kick things off, and then he went to town on this one. A beautiful extended float, grabs that rail again off the bottom into that beautiful hooking maneuver, and then right here, upside down, vert in the pocket, critical stuff, showing the variety, the combination of major maneuvers with that speed parent flow. Yago Dora's been having a little bit of a hard time trying to find the good ones. And as I said, a 9.57, 7.17, it's been all about Adriano de Souza, the former world champion. And he's watched this young man just dismantle the top guys in the world. John Florence, Gabriel Medina, Mick Fanning, and de Souza said, "Not this time, young man."
Not this time. He's keeping up with it. Here we see our Jeep leaderboard. Adriano de Souza currently in 4th coming into this event with 14,400 points.
Yeah, well, if he gets a win,
10,000 points. Here's our point spread.
Right.
He's guaranteed 6,500.
Yeah, he's guaranteed that for sure, and I think he wants more.
Dora off the bottom. That's better off the top, showing a little bit more aggression. And vertical through the lip there. Gets up to a more open face. Layback hack. Yago Dora working this wave out and wants to surf himself out of the combination. Snaps on the inside. Does he have more for us? Whitewater climb. Well put together wave. Right behind him, Adriano de Souza. A lot of whitewater on the face of this one. A couple of banks on the backhand, looking to get rid of his low score. Nice exchange. But this time, the advantage may have been to Yago Dora.
100%. That was a beautiful wave there from Yago Dora. And the funny thing was, de Souza had priority. Let him go. So de Souza not buying into it, but I tell you what, this is a really good wave. Variety with that speed. I love this turn here. Just laying into it, extending that big frame that he's got. He's a big, solid kid. And he's surfing amazing. I like the fact he just pulled back a little bit there just to make sure he finished this wave on his feet. He knows he needs a big score, 6.75 to get him out of that combo situation. Right behind him, de Souza, what's he got on his wave? A vertical snap in the pocket. And another beautiful maneuver, just extending that body, getting that board all the way back around. And again, this man just is tagging this wave, looking to better a 7.17. I think he might have betted that 7-1-7, to be honest with you.
You know what? You're right. We caught up halfway through that wave with Adriano de Souza, and I concur with you, Potts. He's continuing on with just blistering backhand form.
Yeah, absolutely right. So, in saying that, if he's betted that 7-1-7, then that combination is going to look a bit more, push it a little further out. Iago needing a 6.75 or better to get himself out of combo.
And here's the full story, the unabridged version of semifinal number 1. All of the waves surfed and their scores. 3 waves for Adriano, 4 waves for Iago, and the green signify their top 2 waves. However, we are still waiting on 2 more scores from our judges.
That we are. And, well, talk about that exchange. De Souza on the backhand. Just clinical, clean, radical surfing.
Here we go. Iago working his way down the line. Some foam on the face. Another section popping up in front of him. Pulls into a barrel, and that's not going to do it.
No, that's not going to do it. But good score nonetheless. Have a look at that. We talk about De Souza bettering his situation. He did. And actually got the better out of that exchange as well.
That's right. 8.4 for last exchange for Adriano de Souza, and an 8-point ride, a flat 8 for Iago Dora. Dora's now needs a 9.97, a near perfect 10-point ride is what Iago Dora has to put together if he wants to make this final.
Yep, 2 minutes remaining. So that requirement, well, it's not a combo, but it might as well be. That is a huge score required by the young Brazilian, 9.97. De Souza with priority, and this is when he's dangerous. I mean, he plays the game at a really high level, especially when it comes to the back end of this heat. You can see De Souza now making his move back up the break to try and sit next to Iago Dora and maybe eliminate any kind of opportunity that might come his way. Even though these kids are friends, they're both coached by Iago's dad. There will be no love lost. This is for all the biscuits.
There he is. Leandro, the coach, is behind the camera, filming every heat, giving good advice.
He's got to be happy though. I mean, his kids made the semi-finals
as a wild card.
As a wild card, and taking down some of the biggest names in the sport. You know,
3 world champs.
John Florence, Gabriel Medina, Mick Fanning. I mean, you take down one of those guys, you're going to be stoked. All 3 of them. That's a heyday right there.
Add another layer. He's only 20 years old, Potts.
Yep.
Bright future for Iago Dora.
Number 3 on the WQS. So, I mean, there's still a fair way to go, but I dare say that kid is. We're going to see him on tour maybe in the next couple of years.
Well,
maybe even next year. You never know.
Maybe next year. Yeah. Well, if he keeps this form up through the rest of 2017, we're going to see Iago Dora. But right now, it looks like we're going to see Adriano de Souza in the final here of the Oi Rio Pro.
Yeah, well, coming out of Australia, ranked number 4 in the world. As we see these 2 guys.
Iago's going to concede.
Adriano doesn't want to know about it. That's the kind of competitor this guy is. I mean, he is tough as nails.
There we go. There's the sportsmanship. Proud of him, I'm sure. But it is Adriano de Souza who's going to continue on. We have our first finalist of the 2017 Oi Rio Pro presented by Corona.
Yeah, what a moment. Has showed respect there. And Adriano de Souza knew he had to play the game at a high level to make sure that he moved through to the final.
Adriano's partner is happy to see her man make it to the final. And big applause by Adriano de Souza for his understudy in Iago Dora. We're going to be back with semifinal number 2. For that, we're going to bring in Peter Mel and Gig Cilliers. Stick around because it's going to be an Australian matchup. Ace Bucket against Matt Wilkinson. Matt Wilkinson and Adrian Ace Bucket.
Adrian Ace Bucket. Lovely. This is why they nickname him the Surgeon.
I mean, you're not really worrying about who you're surfing against. At least I'm not.
Matt Wilkinson rasping it. And Wilco showing the world that he doesn't only have that backhand repertoire. Lunchtime in Saquarema, and a welcome relocation for the Oi Rio Pro as you join us now in the Australian bottom half of the draw. Semi-final number 2. Ace Buchan takes on Matty Wilkinson, and you see the head-to-head matchups there. Surprisingly enough, with less time on the championship tour, Matt Wilkinson leads 3-0 in those encounters. Good afternoon, Gig Saliers alongside Peter Mel for the call, and a big day in Rio de Janeiro unfolding here. And certainly both of these surfers bringing the rail game in their quarterfinal appearances, Pete.
And here we get to see Adrian Buchan pick up the first wave of this heat. Knows how important it is. Good size set wave. Of course, at that point, he could have switched directions, maybe gone the other way, but he stays with the open face. And he's found himself another wedge, and there does that same turn that could have done on that section before. But unfortunate, falls at the end, so not going to be an excellent wave score, be suppressed because of the fall. So early stages, Wilco now sits with priority. This is what he did to Owen Wright. Waited for a little while, but was able to find that wave and got, at that point, the best wave in the heat.
Now having a look at Wilco as he flirts with an opportunity. You're joining us in the early stages of semi-final number 2 here. A great all-goofy foot encounter for the two surfers from the Central Coast. So geographically, both of these surfers from a similar zone, the Avoca area. And we pick up now on Ace Buchan, who's jumping on opportunities here. Big wall ahead, and it has got a little flex in it, so Ace will pull through the back. Matty Wilkinson holding priority out on the primary peak here. Of course, both of these surfers in fine form in their quarterfinal appearances. And Wilco goes to the rail. Big blunt turn, buries the board. Now out for the second one, sweeping lovely. Wilco stretching through to this broken section. He'll square it up nicely. Wingspan out, he'll hold it together. And he'll bank that score. That's his opening ride here, Pete.
Couple bigger waves sweeping through. He picks that one that's right in the middle of the sandbank, right where he wanted to be. And he was able to pick it together, putting a solid number up. So nice work there for Wilco.
Bottom half of the draw with the Australians, the top half with the Brazilians. And Adriano de Souza finally puts an end to Yago Dora's run here. He's down there with Strider Wazalewski.
Thank you, Giggs. ADS, you seem to be getting better with every heat. You've been the most informed surfer on the backhand out there today. I mean, absolutely beautiful surfing. How do you continue to raise the level?
Yeah, I'm so happy to be in the final. I don't feel this stage since Pipe Mass in 2015, so it's been a long time. I'm really appreciate, you know, to be here, special in my country, and yeah, it's such a hard work to be here. I pass against the world champ, against a young gun like Iago, and yeah, I feel blessed. blessed, to be here. I hope I can make another good heat and win this contest.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about how you're projecting and really coming through those turns? I mean, your bottom turns are just pure drive. You're off the top. You're coming out of everything with so much speed.
Yeah, everyone have your own skills, and in my one it is that drive, So I appreciate that what you say, and thanks for the advice. So I try to do exactly what you say out there in my final. So every heat it is a different, every situation, and I just try to take the best as I can, and yeah, can't wait to be here on the final against my crowd.
Well, there you have it. We'll let the People's Champ get ready for that. Thank you for your time, Adriano.
Thanks, guys. And I would like to mention Iago. He's such an amazing guy, and we stayed together the whole time, and as soon as I drive to here, I tell my manager that I think Iago is gonna win these trials, and but I could imagine he'd get a match in the semis. But yeah, he's such an amazing kid, and I love to be with him, especially with his dad. Yeah, we are family, and that's for sure that we would like to mention Ricardo, because Ricardo was coaching Iago right at the beginning. So yeah, I think definitely he out there, and he even cheering for us.
There you have it. Thank you very much. Kind words.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
What an outstanding world champion and a great representative of the modern era of the sport. Adriano de Souza is through to the finals. No final appearances last year for him, Pete, so he's welcoming this as a shot at it, but does come to Brazil after a successful Australian leg, ranked 4th on the Jeep leaderboard, and a chance now to really reel in some numbers.
Especially if he can get the win. I think that right now we're talking about who's in form, who's been producing the biggest numbers, and it feels like consistently that Adriano has done that, even not just besides today, but leading up to this finals day. He has been one to watch. He's been tapped into, like I said, the crowds, the lineup, definitely not making very many errors. He hasn't fallen very much, that's for sure.
We'll be watching to see who gets to tee up against Adriano in the finals. We'll be crowning a champion here in Saquarema this afternoon. Will be an Australian, that we know. Let's have a look at Matty Wilco on the replay.
This is the replay. Score is in at a 6.17. Just the strategy here is he knows what size waves he wants to pick, because he's going to get that ability for it to run the bank, which it does. He's got to deal with all that foam on the face, but he does well. 2 nice carves and a good solid finish. You can see where he picked his spot, really digging in that vertical section, and then flattens out, but he carves through it. A little bit of release as he finishes that cutback, and then the final move here, drifts it, unweights the back foot, slides across the lip, pulls it off with ease, and gets himself into the good range. And he's got the lead with just 1 wave.
Well, operating under that radar, Wilco looks right but goes left. Waves are flexing a little bit here as we continue to drop out on the tide chart. In fact, we've just turned, correction, right on the low right now. So the turn has taken place here. See how that affects the walls. Of course, great rail work from both Ace Buchan and Maddie Wilkinson in their quarterfinal appearances just a short while ago. Ace disposing of Geordie Smith in quarter number 3. Maddie Wilkinson, against probably a lot of betting people's odds, taking out Owen Wright. So John Florence gets to keep the yellow jersey and wear it again in Fiji. But Owen Wright and Geordie Smith got a little closer at this stop here in Brazil. But now one of these 2 surfers will be taking on de Souza. Of course, this time last year, both Wilkinson out in round 3, Buchan falling for a 25th place in the second round. Much better results for the visit here in 2017. And hasn't it been a great relocation, Pete, as a talking point, the wave-rich zone of Saquarema?
It is, and I think that we've really not even truly tapped into the potential here. That we, have high-quality waves, that we've been able to see some great surfing, but ultimately this region can get even better. So hopefully we decide to come back and can utilize Saquarema once again. You know, the zone here has been able to, you know, I was wondering if it, you know, was going to be able to deal with the influx of people. Been no issues in my eyes. It's been amazing. You know, the nightlife's been good enough for everyone to have a good time, no troubles. You know, maybe some loud music here and there, and some sleepless nights for a few folks, but overall, great vibes. Everyone's super friendly. So I would say that, you know, a very successful event.
Well done, Rio de Janeiro, for moving us out to this region. This is all south-facing beaches. You see how much swell is whomping in there. There's a paddler down there at our backup location. Of course, Pete, you had a few great surfs there visiting for qualifying series events in the past. Wave-rich is this zone.
Absolutely, and been able to explore a little bit. Not like I did my last tour through here. This time, able to go heading up the coast, and there is surf potential not only here, but stretching north and south.
Those two great names of the sport there. Mick Fanning bundling out in the quarterfinals. He'll accept a 5th place finish here. Of course, Geordie Smith got rid of Julian Wilson in round 5, so Julian finishes with the 9th. We'll adjust those Jeep leaderboard points in a couple of hours' time. Of course, you can follow us all on the World Surf League app on your handheld device. You can even watch it live as you watch now. Adrian Buchan, he is surfing so on point at the stop, and he is wrapping turns for us. Can he finish this one? Yes, he does. He fits it in. So compact zone, and Buchan fits in the combo. So 3 turns there. Wilco now with a wide set to deal with. Want to bring a comeback story. That was wave number 3 we saw for Ace there, Pete, and easily his best effort thus far.
I really like how he squared up off the bottom on that final move. Little point of difference. Takes off this one. Not worried too much about the size of wave as he's seeing the quality of the first section, which he unloads on, and there, beautiful arc. A lot of variety in there. That squared up bottom turn going straight up. So much harder to do, to go straight into that section, to keep your speed through the maneuver. And he timed it perfectly as well. That big arc, and he had to get there quick. You see, jams it, that section, squeezing him. He was able to get it up there and completed the ride, so that's going to be his best wave. And that's going to be rivaling the 617 of Wilkinson.
Well, you see Adrian Ace Buchan comes to the stop ranked 24th alongside Miguel Pupo, Bede Durbridge, Ian Gouveia and Nat Young. So really stacked up numbers on that leaderboard, but it's going to be a breakaway now from that pack as there are the points on offer per finish. Of course, you're joining us here in the semi-finals, so 6,500 points is the worst that Adrian Ace Buchan can haul in here and add to his totals. Of course, Matty Wilkinson coming here 9th on the Jeep leaderboard. So this is valuable points unfolding here right now for Adrian Ace Buchan in his 11th year. No, probably his 12th year on tour, Pete.
Considering these guys have been hanging out for the last week and a half, I'd be heeding his words of advice. Iago Dora's dad.
Iago Dora being stopped by that man, Adriana de Souza. We're approaching the halfway mark in semi-final number 2. It's Adrian Ace Buchan leading over Matty Wilkinson. Stay with us.
Left from rank 8 points. Surfing in rank now is in the lead. In second, surfing Ruben Wilkinson is looking for a 6.17.
Semi-final number 2, an all-Australian showdown here for a berth in the finals against Adriana de Souza. Welcome back to the beach. Gig Salias alongside Peter Mel. We trust you're enjoying the action at a fresh location for this stop, the 4th stop on the World Surf League's Championship Tour, the new venue of Saquarema, proving to be a great decision from all involved. As you join the numbers here, Adrian Ace-Buchan, that set of rail blitzing turns, Pete, for an 8-point ride, that tight combination. So now we're starting to see real numbers come to this encounter.
Well, it ended up being almost 2 points higher than Matt Wilkinson, so substantial difference, especially at this point after the halfway mark in the heat. The best wave so far, Ace-Buchan looking on point. And of course, could be his first final since Tahiti, where he took a win there. So this kid could get an opportunity if he can hold on. But Wilco is not going to give up.
Well, Ace hasn't had a win since back in 2013. Matty Wilco got that winning feeling last year. Back-to-back wins will always be spoken about. Wore that yellow jersey this time last year. Finaled in Fiji. And although he did bump down a few notches, to finish 5th in the world is an incredible achievement. As we see now, the surfer from Copacabana. Big, heavy leverage there. Gets the knees involved in that. You just feel that that wave face is a bit fat and slopey. Didn't like that first turn himself. So he'll throw that in the rubbish bin with 12.5 to go.
Well, that's what that 8-point ride does. Makes you feel like you're going to need something pretty extravagant. That first turn probably felt a little awkward to Wilco, even though it kind of looked pretty cool because he did lay into it. He decides to kick out. Almost felt like there was another section there to be tackled, but he decides to kick out again. So that priority being wasted, not able to really get a substantial point total. So he's going to head back out, try and get back that priority position.
So Pete and I hanging a little question mark on, was that the right decision to exit? We'll find out in just under 12 minutes. Meanwhile, Adrian Ace-Buchan and Matt Wilkinson share semi-final finishes here, respectively. Matty Wilkinson back in 2015, getting to the semi-finals for one of his better results of 2015. The beach is packing in because they have a Brazilian in the final. It's going to be a great vibe down there. And of course, always amongst it, Strider Wazalewski. Where is the Waz?
The Waz is down here with some artwork, so this board is going to be given away to the winner here at the Oi Rio Pro, presented by Corona. Philip Fry is down here, so Philip's got all the different scenes that have happened throughout the event, and they've been hashtagged, and then they get to pick the best moments, and so they start on different waves throughout the whole event, and it goes all the way down to the quarterfinals are on here this morning. He'll continue to keep drawing and create more as for through the semis and the finals. And then all the way down the end, we have a winner, but they haven't decided who that's going to be, so he hasn't been filled in yet, whoever gets chaired up the beach. So these boards are pieces of art that are actually created through fan appreciation, which is really cool. A lot of people come down here, obviously, and enjoy the event. So thank you for the art.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure to be a part of this. And I just want to thank the crowd for doing this with me.
Yep, amazing participation. Everybody down here obviously loves to be a part of this entire scene, so thanks to all the fans here in Rio.
Great piece of artwork there, Strides. I even see a pic of Ace-Buchan there. Do you see the forehand rail carve down
bit of a
bottom
timeline.
left? Yeah.
Pretty neat. I mean, it's really literally a storybook timeline of the event through an artist's eyes.
Brilliant creativity here, representing all of the passion and talent of this 207 million Brazilians. And they are just a wonderful nation. Growing up as well, maturing as a country. Great economy, everything happening. Of course, hosting the Olympics. This time last year, Rio de Janeiro was the world focus for the Paralympics as well. And that has been a theme of discussion here at our visit to Saquarema, is the inclusion of surfing in the Olympics in 2020 in Chiba, Japan. Great news for the sport. Who will represent? We'll find all those answers in the next few years as we slip inside of 10 minutes to go. Ace-Buchan holding that 8-point ride, putting a Considerable amount of squeeze now on Maddie Wilkinson. Wilco just engaging a 6-1-7, and here we go. Ace again. Beautiful lines. Around the corner for another big hap. He is in absolute form here, and he sears that turn as well. So authority on the rail from Adrian. Lovely connectivity. Little end section as well. Chips it away nicely. And another little let go and recover. So very good surfing from Adrian Ace Buchan, setting the pace, and he'll take this number when it comes from the paddle, and he'll be joining it to that 8-point ride, Pete.
He's back into the excellent range. He's going to ditch the 4.33. Most likely going to surpass even his 8-point ride. You talk about with authority, and he is definitely placing that confidence that is exuding from his body straight into his surfboard. He lays into these turns. Beautiful snap. The timing of all of this. You see how that wave lifted right when he got to the section to do the maneuver 2 times in a row, and just stays with it, keeps the flow, even gets a bit loose on this final section. And of course the power fist, showing how well and how excited he is. But that, I mean, we could see this go upwards in the 9s. I mean, it was perfectly placed. That's that priority. That was the mistake that Wilco took that wave, gave Ace the opportunity for the priority, and this wave comes, and those are those priority mistakes that come into play and bite you. And right now, not to say that he's out of it, but this is a big moment in this heat, because now there's a solid number to back up his 8.0, and he's going to have a substantial lead over Matt Wilkinson. Matter of fact, he's going to put him in combo.
Dissecting that wave for an 8.97, Adrian Ace Buchan out front, and as you say, Pete, combination station now for Wilco. There's the spread of opinions from the 5 judges on duty, one of them going a 9.3. It does get lobbed off, but the average just under the 9-point mark. Great number, and that is a great momentum builder.
It's interesting that Ace was talking about the equipment. He's riding the JS Industries, Jason Stevens, but that this board actually has been on tour with him. He loved how it felt riding this board in Fiji and in juicy waves. So he decides, hey, I'm going to throw that thing in my board bag. I'm going to have it in my quiver. And I mean, it's the first time we've seen him actually riding this board. He's actually been able to work through. He's riding to look like an EPS Monster 6, which is epoxy on the smaller days. And then now when it gets solid, jumps on that. And it's so good to have equipment that you're confident in, because there you go. He has this magic surfboard. He just keeps right there in the rafters at home until he knows for that precise moment to bring it out. Sure enough, here it is, and it's looking like it could find his way into the finals.
I was just thinking about storing magic boards there, and I was trying to think, you know, you got to store wine at a certain temperature. I wonder if there's a certain temperature to store a surfboard. Good question, right?
Or a helium tank. Put it in an
shrink wrap it.
Oxygen chamber.
Vacuum it.
Not bad ideas. You never know. I mean, that's the future.
Some acai being consumed by now a finalist here, Adriano de Souza, watching the lineup very carefully, even though he's in his own preparations for a final. He's not letting any moments go unnoticed as he carefully observes what's unfolding here. And he'll be seeing some blistering rail work from Adrian Ace Buchan, who's storming towards the finals. Matty Wilco's done a good job as well, but he couldn't find more than a 6.17 to start here, Pete.
Yeah, and he made this choice, catching this wave with a little bit of foam on the face, but he executed a 6.17 just to get that early lead. But it really came down to Ace finding his back-to-back 8s. The squared up bottom turns. Look how clean his choice of wave has been. Been his forte. We talked about his precision. That board just gliding through all these sections, carrying a ton of speed. The 8.97, I mean, look at this wave. It just kept giving. Timing it perfectly with the wedge. You can see the crease moving across the face of the wave, and that is all about timing. If you can load up off the bottom with that crease, it'll explode you into the section, and you get there with the timing of it. It lifts the section up again, makes it more vertical. It's a great wave choice. Again, ton of experience from Adrian Buchan, and it's paying off right now.
Well, Adrian, around 5 years older than Wilco. They both hail from the same part of New South Wales. There's your work rates. Not a big work rate in the lineup here in Saquarema as you're joining us in semi-final number 2. 4 waves selected by the man with the lead. Just 3 waves for Matty Wilco. Opportunity for Wilkinson He's got to start moving very quickly. His holding priority needs to get a work rate going because he is in combination. And I'm looking at those previous head-to-head statistics again. They've all been in favor of Wilco in previous matchups, Pete. Could we be seeing the ratios changing here?
It could be. I mean, again, we're looking at 4 minutes left in this heat. And you look at where the surfers are sitting on that Jeep leaderboard. Matt Wilkinson at number 9. He's going to make a major jump.
Well, of course, Matty Wilkinson finaling on the Gold Coast. A runner-up to Owen Wright and an amazing first stop of the Australian leg. And a 25th place at Margaret River. A 13th place, losing in round 3 to Wiggly Duntas at Bells Beach. Matty Wilco finds himself here in semi-finals. Worst he'll collect here is a 3rd place finish. 6,500 points on the Jeep leaderboard. So Wilco arrives here 9th on the Jeep leaderboard. Chance to climb up a notch or 2. Of course, we'll officiate all of the results once the finals are surfed. You can, of course, reflect to the Jeep leaderboard, year-by-year rankings. Follow your favorite surfers. It's all on the worldsurfleague.com, and of course on your handheld device or your tablet you'll have the app. And we love having the millions of viewers along for the ride, including tons of people from Brazil.
Looking here at the fantasy rankings of, if you look at the semifinals, Ace Buchan carrying 2% of fantasy picks. I mean, whoever that 2% in is obviously picking up big numbers. Guys like Wilco, don't know exact his percentage, but would have been low. Iago Dora, 1%. Here we go, Wilco.
Matty Wilkinson, chance to unlock the combo, but it's down to 2.5 minutes, but we'll enjoy the surfing anyway as he glides like a bar of soap in a bath. And here we go. Lovely redirection. And as I say that, he'll just spill the rail, fin release. And that's been the story of Matty Wilkinson's semi-finals here.
A little ruffled, where in contrast, Ace Buchan, as sleek and as solid as can be.
Of course, Matty Wilco in his 3rd heat of the day's proceedings here. Surfed a round 5 win over Kanoa Igarashi, who had taken out Felipe Toledo in round 3. And of course, big performances from Wilco. Wonderful heat. Go back and look at it on the heat analyzer when you can. Wilco and Owen Wright in the quarters.
I really like the performance that Matt Wilkinson has put on here, though. It wasn't the greatest in his early rounds, but he was getting the job done. And then today, especially against Owen, put a solid 2-wave total up. Knew he needed to do it against Owen, and he did. Pretty much needed to do the same thing here against Adrian, but just was on the other side because there wasn't a ton of super high quality waves in this heat. That mistake with the priority where he took that wave and ended up not being a score. That one was capitalized by Adrian Buchan. It looks like he's going to find his way into the finals.
It's looking that way as we slip inside of 1 minute remaining now. 5.43 onto the scoreboard for Matty Wilco, but remains in combination. And Adrian Ace Buchan, as we mentioned, coming here 24th on the Jeep leaderboard, is about to get a big points haul as he'll be in the finals here. It's almost guaranteed. Great surfing, both of them very on point here in 2017. But Ace has done a magnificent job. Of course, this time last year, Ace out early in the draw, but then recovered well with the semi-finals in Fiji. Here we go for a hit to wrap it up. Matty Wilco will head for the beach. He'll be calculating in his head 6,500 points. And as I say, he'll climb a notch from
Climb a
ninth.
notch, he'll climb a couple notches because those top 3 that are above him all lost out pretty early. So again, that's 6,500 points. He'll leapfrog, move probably up in there in 6th, from 9th to 6th probably. I mean, just a guesstimation, but he'll be well in that top 10 picture.
Adrian Ace Buchan is in the finals. He'll be taking on Adriano de Souza. Stick around. We'll bring in Kaipo and Potts to join Pete for the pre-finals show.
this one done.